Booktube. My name's Maria and welcome to my channel MH Books as we do a tag. I'm way behind in tags, so I'm doing a tag where I was tagged over a month ago. I was tagged by Alan of big hard books and classics in my bookish first tag, which was originated by Mooney Reads. I have the questions here. So let's get on. What was your first full-length book that you remember reading it on your own? That would be Enid Blyton's Five Go on a Hike. I particularly remember that one because I was 8 years old. We'd just come back from Australia to Ireland, and I had been, up until I was about 7, been told that I would never learn to read, and by the time I was about 2 or 3 weeks after my 8th birthday, I was reading full-length books. So much for what people try to predict for children. Nobody knows. What's the first series you remember finishing? I honestly don't remember ever finishing a series. A lot of the series I've read, like Raymond D. Fished, have actually continued on for so long. Or Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time just continued on. Actually, I just got bored after book 13 on that, to be honest. And I've never finished. I'm sure there's a few trilogies I've finished, but I just cannot think of one at the moment. So yeah, I can't think of a series I've finished, so maybe I should finish a series. What's the first book to movie adaptation you remember watching, knowing it was a book to movie adaptation? Yeah. That would be God of the Wind. I just read the book. I would have been about 15, I think. Who was your first book crush? I don't get book crushes, so there's no answer to that. Who was your first bookish friend? In real life, probably my mother. On BookTube, my first subscriber was Amy at Zoe Beck, and the first person that I kind of, you launch your channels at the same time, would have been Charlie Brooke, who I'll link both of the channels. Charlie Brooke's no longer making videos at the moment. Her sister is. I'll put her sister's channel underneath as well. Where's the questions? What is your first adult book that you remember reading not for school? I'll actually have to stop it because the budgies is getting very loud. Hold on. They're saying they're poor babies. That would be Trinity. The first book I read would be Trinity by Leon Aris. I was in 6th class, so I was about 12. And the teacher was quite shocked when she seen me reading it in class. That's why I specifically remember it. I might have read another adult before that, but that's the one I remember. I am old, What was your first character role model? I'm going to say Superman as a little kid, probably about 6-ish. But I wanted to be Supergirl, obviously. And I wanted to be both the princess who needed rescuing and to rescue myself. I wanted to go, surprise, I can do it. I can fly too. What was the first author that you were truly inspired by? Interesting question. I should prepare this, shouldn't I? I think I'm probably inspired by most authors, just the ability to write. So the first author I read a lot of books off was Enid Blyton, and we are talking about firsts here, not the most inspirational. They are a little bit dated, to say the least, and very, very, very racist and classist and all the rest of it. The other one I also loved was Ian Nesbitt, which again, that's just reminded me saying classist and racist. But I did love her Phoenix and the Carpet books. We should probably finish the series off. I finished the series. Yay. She's dead, so I'm definitely finished. What was the first book you remember touching or moving you? That would be Black Beauty. I cried at the end of Black Beauty, and I would have been very smallish. I don't know actually. No, it might have actually been like 12 or 13 actually. I would have read children's books at the same time as adult books. What's the first classic you read not for school? They would be Everything But Persuasion, which was being made to read in school. But everything else that Jane Austen wrote, I read one summer. So I would have been, 16, 17, and I read all of her novels, and I haven't read them since. And what was the first YA book you read? I don't remember its name. YA wasn't out when I was a kid. I went straight from reading children's books to adult books. There wasn't a YA section, but I'd been reading adult books for a couple of years. So let's say I was about 14, and they set up this new teenage section in the library. And I remember borrowing a book and just thinking, this style is weird. I don't like these books. I went straight back to adult. I had to borrow them off my mother's library card or my dad's library card, because we weren't allowed to obviously borrow from the adult section, but I can borrow from theirs, and the librarians never mind. So I will put up a book by an Irish author who's YA author, and I'll put it here that I've read and I recommend. I just can't think of one at the moment. There's one that's kind of like the Hunger Games. I've just forgotten his name. So I'll put his book there. And we'll say that's my answer. So that's my answer to these questions. I am so late doing this. I am not tagging people, but if you find these interesting, would like to be tagged, consider yourself tagged. And until next time, I hope you enjoy whatever you're reading. Thank you. Bye-bye.